Blind and left naked in the cold, Sam is disoriented and helpless. Helping Heart's shelter is a refuge Sam may not have chosen, but one for which he is grateful. This week we find out if Sam can really trust those offering him a helping hand. I'm your narrator, Chad, and this is episode 13, chapter 17 of No Evil. Let's escape. Of all the places he could have ended up, Sam found himself in a homeless shelter. It was almost funny. A man walks in, naked save for an ill-fitting coat, shivering, delirious, almost dead, and they treat him like royalty. He should have known. By all accounts, that being Tim's and Jamie's, Helping Heart's shelter was a sprawling complex dishing out social justice in heaping spoonfuls. As far as Sam could tell, it was little more than a warehouse with 3 rooms. One room was covered wall-to-wall with cots. The kitchen was set up like a high school cafeteria, and the bathroom was minuscule considering how many guests occupied the cots, with just a simple toilet and a stand-up shower. They offered 3 hot meals 3 days a week, Jamie had said proudly. Her commitment was endearing, and Sam was grateful he'd come across the place. "You're lucky we're in," Tim said, as if reading Sam's train of thought. "Jamie and I stocked the pantry, and you came along right as we were finishing up. Another 5 minutes and we would have been gone." After a very brief and awkward tour, Tim directed Sam around a final corner and into an office area off the kitchen. The 3 of them sat on a couch. A discussion of the weather turned out to bear little conversational fruit and evaporated into a thumb-twiddling match for the ages. Declaring himself the victor of that contest, Sam finally broke the uncomfortable silence. I don't think I said it before, or if I did, I need to say it again. Thanks, guys," he said. "I was, kind of out of it. Not enough sleep, I guess." "You're absolutely welcome, Sam. No explanations needed," Tim said. "But, honestly, you don't seem very much like our typical clients." "I know. This is a first for me. With all the shit that's happened today, I just hope my apartment is still standing when I get back." "Yeah, let's hope it is." Sam got the feeling they didn't believe a word he was saying, but they were nice enough to just roll with it. He assumed they had a lot of experience going down that road. They probably had some wild stories. Probably they had some sad ones, too. Sam didn't want to take advantage. "Anyway, I'll be out of your hair soon. I just have to make a call. My friend, Case, he's probably going crazy trying to find me right now. Do you mind if I use your phone? Give him a call?" "Well, it's pretty late now, Sam. Maybe you should just stay with us for the night. This place will be bustling tomorrow morning. You can get a nice quiet sleep tonight." No, you guys have done enough. I just want to get home, and like I said, Case is probably worried. I'd use my cell phone, but I must have left it in my hospital gown." Sam had hoped for a laugh, but he wasn't even sure he got a smile. Jamie and Tim were whispering quietly to one another. Sam's stomach churned again, and a dull pressure developed where his eyes had been. It felt like a regular headache, but seconds later it was full-on throbbing. "What time is it?" Sam suddenly blurted out. "It's close to 11, Tim said. "I should give Case a call before it gets too late." Sam struggled to speak through the gong in his head. Sorry, Sam. The phone's been on the IR for about a month. Some animal got it in the wiring, I think," Tim said. By this time, Sam couldn't take the pain anymore. He doubled over on the couch, and they rushed to his side. Sam brought his hands to his temples and rubbed them rhythmically, but the pain wouldn't abate. Then his stomach bubbled and churned again, and he gagged and coughed up sour bile. "Oh my God. Jamie, get a cold cloth or something," Tim shouted as he knelt at Sam's side. She ran out of the room without speaking. Sam heard hurried steps enter the room again a short time later. The cold cloth hit his forehead like that first swim at the beginning of summer. The brutal force of the thud in his head reared against the soothing feel of the cloth, and Sam imagined them as moose battering each other. Sam woke with the fleeting image of a moose drinking tea. His head was fine, but his entire body ached like he'd slept on concrete after a night of drinking. Sam breathed in deeply while stretching his arms out in front of him. Jamie? Tim? Oh, you're awake."
"How are you feeling?"
"Like garbage. Hot, sticky garbage," Sam said honestly. "How long have I been out?" "About 20 minutes. That all?"
"Yeah. We thought you'd be out for the night. We were debating what we should do."
"Yeah, we usually trade off with some other volunteers who cover the night. We really didn't plan on being open tonight, so they weren't available." "Well, if I can use a phone, I don't think that's a good idea, Sam," Tim said. You should really get some rest. Tim told Jamie he'd be back in a few minutes, and Sam heard the door bang shut as he left. Sam didn't feel like resting. He felt like getting the hell back home.
So, do you have a job and stuff?
Jamie said. Yep, and stuff. I work in a factory, cleaning pickle tanks, actually. It's glamorous, I know. Try not to fall in love with me. These looks on top of all of that, I know it'll be difficult.
Yeah, it's tempting.
So, what's the deal with Tim? He seems to be suspicious or something.
Well, Sam, he thinks that maybe you're a drug addict. I'm sorry. You look very pale. He just went to get his Bible.
Bible?
This shelter is supported through church donations, so you might hear some Bible stories if you stick around. He wants to show you the path. He's a lot more into the religious stuff than me. I just like to help people.
Well, you could help me by getting me a phone.
I think maybe you should stay tonight, Sam. It couldn't hurt. Maybe you could prove to Tim you're not on drugs.
She said as she touched his hand. Do you think I'm on drugs?
I mean, I think you're nice, Sam, but I don't know you.
The truth is, I was on drugs. Morphine. This morning. When my eyes were burned out of my skull. I bet that's hard to believe, but it's true. I've lost about 10 hours today. I don't have a clue where it went. Now it's all healed over. Tim suddenly appeared in the doorway. Sam, this is usually the type of thing we report to the police. Now you seem like a reasonable man, but I just found someone's wallet in the coat you came in with. No, that's not my coat. Someone put it on me before I got here. I guess I ran away from them. Everything's so confusing. Sam's eyes, or where they had been at least, began to tingle. The blurry crimson outlines were becoming more defined. He could see dark shapes in front of him, and a brighter circle to his right that looked like a light fixture. It was like I was brought here, Sam finally said. Maybe you were, Tim said, as he tapped the front of the book. Sam could see it. A small red shadow walked toward him. Sam waved his own hand in front of his face, and he saw a blur of red sweep by. He stumbled back a step, and the shadow reached out and touched his shoulder.
You okay?
Look, stay the night and we'll talk more in the morning, Tim said. I'll take the coat and the wallet to the police station tomorrow and say it was left at the shelter. Sam's mouth hung open like his jaw was busted. He simply nodded, having barely heard anything Tim said. Jamie showed him to a cot in the middle of maybe 15 or 20 others, and he hit the light switch. There was a stench of piss buried under a layer of lemon-scented cleaner. It didn't matter. Within minutes, Sam was asleep. Donk. Tss. Donk. Tss. Donk. Tss. The dissipating image of a boy with an oversized baseball mitt escaped Sam's thoughts. For a second he tried to remember why the mitt was so damn big, but the sound reminded him. Donk. Tss. A boy with an oversized mitt bounces a basketball once, then hurls it at a hoop with chain mesh. He tries to catch it. Fails. Sam bolted upright. Donk. Tss. Fuck, that's weird, Sam said as he shook off the unreality. The sound was as clear as it had been in the dream. It echoed through the entire building. At first Sam thought maybe he was still asleep, but he opened his eyes and found he could still hear it. Unlike the boy with the oversized mitt, the sound was real, and so was the red. The crimson vision caught him off guard. Sam was staring at the ceiling and could make out strips crisscrossing it in uniform rectangles. Not only was the vision still there, it seemed to have improved. He brought his hands to his face again, to where his charred eye sockets had been smoothed by fresh flesh. Nope. This is weird. He sat up and could make out light coming from the doorway across the room. It had to be the cafeteria. Sam looked around and saw that some people had already been let into the shelter and were fast asleep in the cots next to him. Luckily, Tim and Jamie had put him in a bed close to the kitchen, and he slipped through the rows of cots without waking anyone. As he got closer, he could make out tables. He moved to the doorway, and his vision seemed to get better with every step. A row of windows along the wall facing the open door allowed street lamps to blast light into the already well-lit cafeteria. The light flared for just a second, and all he could see was white. The vision was gone. Donk. Tss. Sam didn't want to believe that his sense of sight was gone for good. Maybe the red wisps had been something in his mind all along. He'd read about amputees who could still feel the limb a month later. Maybe something along those lines was happening to him, too. None of it made sense. If I couldn't see, how the hell did I walk to the cafeteria? Donk. Tss. Donk. Tss. Hello? Hey, could you stop that? People are trying to sleep. He balled his fist and slammed it against the doorframe. Sam could hear breathing, and he could feel someone else in the room. He slammed his fist against the doorframe again. No movement at all. Donk. Tss. Donk. Tss. Who's there? Damn it! Who the hell is in here? Donk. Tss. Donk. Tss. I said who?
He's deaf.
Who's that?
Sorry, it's Jamie. In there, that's Roger, he's deaf. He's been a regular around here for a couple of months. He lost his hearing recently.
Sorry. I'm still adjusting to not being able to see. It's frustrating, Sam said, motioning to the door frame.
It's okay. Sorry. I should have told you. For some reason, he started carrying that ball around. He tosses it around a lot. Sometimes he doesn't realize he's making noise. 1 second.
She patted Sam on the shoulder, and he heard her walk across the room. He could hear the scratch of a pencil on paper. Donk. Tss.
Roger, your ball is making noise. Could you stop bouncing it off of the cookie sheet, please?
Donk. Tss. What's going on? Sam asked.
I don't know. He's never.
I'm sorry, Roger said, suddenly rushing from the room. Jamie gasped like she just had the breath knocked out of her.
I've never seen him like that. Maybe you scared him.
I don't know. Roger had left the door open, and it swayed a little in the cold morning breeze. Sam and Jamie followed to the door, but Roger was gone. A gust of wind chilled them both, and they turned back to go back inside. Sam paused for a moment, raised his face to the sky and breathed it in. A point of red light appeared again, and it expanded rapidly. Then his vision was clear. Everything was red, but it was clear. Clouds dashed above them and caught just a slash of morning sun. Sam marveled in it like he'd never seen such a thing in all his life. Maybe he just never appreciated one, but he did now. He almost cheered aloud, but caught himself. If he suddenly started explaining that he could see now, he was sure they'd have him locked up. Jamie led him back to the cafeteria. He mapped the entire place, accepting the fact that the vision could disappear again at any moment. He could see 2 old stoves sitting side by side like an old couple in barca loungers. She went to a table decked out with paper plates, napkins, and cups. She collected 2, then moved to another table with 3 carafes on it. She poured a cup, dumped a couple sugar cubes in it with a splash of cream, and took a sip. She looked back to Sam.
You want a coffee?
Sure, just black for me. Jamie poured him a cup and held it out. Sam took it from her hand and blew on the top. He could see steam rising up from it. He looked back to Jamie and immediately realized his mistake.
You seem to be getting around okay. Tim took the coat to the police station. He's a little leery of you still.
Yeah, I'm grateful for everything. I should really call case, though. The hospital, too.
You keep talking about a hospital, but you seem pretty fine to me.
Jamie said innocently. Pretty fine. He supposed he was pretty fine after having his eyes removed in an involuntary procedure a day ago. He just sat there for a moment with Jamie staring at him. He took a sip of coffee. It was surprisingly good, and he was happy to have it. Hey, is there somewhere quiet we can talk? Sam finally said. She took him to a room just a hair bigger than a broom closet. A small fold-out table in one corner had piles of paper on it. Sam guessed it was the office. Jamie closed the door and pulled 2 chairs away from the table and faced them towards one another. They sat down with their knees almost touching, and they sipped their coffee. Yesterday, I didn't go to work. I couldn't, actually. They told me to go home. I worked nights and got hooked on sleeping pills, Sam said. I'd been having these intense dreams, and I had a hard time getting more than a few minutes of sleep at a time.
Okay.
My friend, Case, suggested a sleep study. There was some sort of problem, but I don't even know if what I saw was real. To be honest, I'm not even clear if this is real right now. Everything's hazy. I know I sound crazy, but I promise you I'm not. I just... I just went home to sleep. Sam felt like he was starting to come apart.
It's okay, Sam. What happened?
I don't know. I woke up in the hospital. That's it. I fell asleep there, and the next thing I know, I'm naked in the snow. I was looking for anyone to help. Then it was like I was being driven here. Maybe Tim's onto something.
Maybe he is. So you were in the hospital to find out why you're losing track of things?
No, I told you. I was there because my eyes were burned. Yesterday.
Sam, it's not possible.
There was this voice. At least I think it was a voice. It came out in this mechanical or electronic drone or something. But it was like searching for a word on the tip of your tongue. I could never quite understand it. But the more I try to ignore it, the worse it gets. Like something is willing me to understand.
Sam, you're getting upset. Maybe you.
Even just now it's coming to me. It's something about me. I'm responsible.
Just relax, Sam.
Sam, having been subconsciously fighting off the voice for months, suddenly gave into it as he explained the situation. I can't relax, Jamie. The voice was telling me. It was saying that it was on me. I don't know what. It was telling me to find someone. Jamie had been nodding along with the story, but she stopped and set her coffee on the table. She looked ill to Sam. She seemed to regret setting down the cup as her hands trembled and she needed something to hold. She picked it up again.
Sam, I think I know what's going on here. We've had lots of cases where, people have had traumatic experiences and we can help.
The look of concern on Jamie's face turned to fear, and Sam knew he'd lost her. She'd been sitting knee to knee with him, but throughout the conversation had shuffled to the furthest corner of the tiny room. Her hand was on the doorknob. All I need from you is a phone. Just one call. Case will come and get me, and you'll never have to hear from me again.
Sam, you just need...
Need what? Rest? I've rested enough. Why do I feel like you're keeping me here? I'm telling you the absolute truth.
I'm sure you think it's the truth, Sam. I'm sure of it. There's not a doubt in my mind that you believe it. But what would you think of me if I told you I hear voices? What if they were telling me to wear, I don't know, socks on my hands or something? Where do we draw the line?
You're right. I'd probably think I was crazy too. I shouldn't have said anything. I know it's crazy. Maybe I am too, but if you just let me call Case, I could prove it to you. Sam knew there was no more point in trying to convince her. He could see the look on her face. He could also see a phone in the corner of the folding table. It had been obscured by a stack of paper that Jamie had moved to set down her coffee. Sam stood and grabbed the phone. He heard a dial tone. And that's all for episode 13, chapter 17 of No Evil. If you're enjoying the podcast, let us know what you think in the comments. Give us a like, a share, a how about that there. Do all the social media things. Become an escapist by subscribing and clicking the bell. And you know what else you could do? You could pickle a patch of perfect peppers for battling politely, passively positing that said perfectly pickled peppers pose predicaments for crafty creativity crazed creatures that crave curiously cultivated capsaicin. Then forget all that and chill with avescapes. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the next escape.